I just watched a show called Vinland Saga. We're going to cover episode 1. About 24 episodes. Each episode ranges from 25 minutes apiece, so let's get started. So we got this guy by the name of Thors and his wife by the name of Helga. We see them living peaceful for like 2 seconds, but then we get a flashback. Thors is on this boat with a bunch of these men, and they're basically fighting off some Viking type characters. Thors jumped from boat to like 7 different boats and starts slicing these niggas up. He did get hit by an arrow, fell off the boat, was fighting one dude, finished his ass off in the water. You think this guy's invincible at one point until he gets to the land and he does feel some type of wound on his shoulder. And this fight took place in 987 AD. So now we skip ahead to the year 1002, and we see that Thor has a son named Thorfinn. He's doing chores, gathering food, getting water and stuff like that, getting milk. And apparently he's on this place called Iceland. Later on, he's in one of his huts, gathered around a bunch of kids, and this guy by the name of Ericsson talks about his adventures and whatnot. Now, Ericsson is like this adventurer, and they explored this beautiful, warm place, and they call it Finland. Now, the kids don't take him seriously because he's not a warrior, he's an adventurer. But he steady calls himself a warrior. So then we see the door open, and we see Thors come through. So he's like, okay, he's still alive, he popping. Then this chick by the name of Ava pops up. Now, Ava is actually supposed to be Thorfinn's sister. She's a lot older than Thorfinn. Thorfinn looks like he could be like 12 or 11 or something. Now, Ericsson to the kids, he comes off as like some happy jester type of dude, but it gets serious when he talks to Thors alone. He talks about the escapades, how so many people died just to get to this land that they're on. Ava's sleeping in the bed next door to his brother Thorfinn. I was like, what the fuck is kind of weird shit going on? But then I realized they're brother and sister at that point, so I'm like, okay. Next day, Ava helps Thors clean off the rooftop because there's a whole bunch of snow around. She slips off the roof, but she's okay, but then she starts feeling on the ground. She finds something. So she digs through the snow, and she finds this guy in chains. I'm like, what the fuck? Apparently, this guy was a slave that came from the other side of the land. He pretty much looked dead as shit, but they take him in the house anyway to warm him up to see if they can, resuscitate him back to life. Meanwhile, Ericsson is talking to Thorfinn about one of his other adventures. How he rode with 7 other crew members and they got stuck on the ice. Now, in this particular situation, Ericsson was the only one that survived. The other 6 guys just died because of the snow and basically couldn't handle the cold. But Ericsson eventually got a lot of people together, and that's how they discovered the land that they're on now, Iceland. Now, he tells us a story about a powerful feudal lord by the name of Horhide, and he's basically telling people to get with it or lead an island. He's basically like a tyrannist. Now, the story that he tells, Thorfinn takes it as a depiction to make it seem like Thors was a coward because he ran away with all his other people. Obviously, Thorfinn don't believe it because he knows his dad is a powerful warrior, which at the time was the only kid that actually believed in Ericsson's stories. After much care and attending to, the slave finally wakes up. He talks about how he was trying to get away from this beautiful place that everybody was looking for because he was a slave and apparently he was being treated badly. Next thing we know, Farwhite comes back with his troops and they're looking for the slave. Apparently he escaped one night. Now, because of the truce they have, they want to settle things diplomatically. All he wants is his slave back. So somebody snitched, and apparently Farwhite ends up meeting up at Thor's house. Now, Farwhite says he had bought 2 animals just for this slave, but he needs this slave back to make a statement to the other slaves, like, you can't just get away from us, you know what I'm saying? But Thor says he'll double it just to keep him. Farwhite goes along with the deal and he leaves. So apparently it felt like he did this deal for nothing. So not only does he give up like 4 different animals, but then the slave ends up dying later on. And then while Thorfinn was talking to his dad, he finds out that all the stories that Ericsson told were true. But he doesn't look at his dad as a coward. He looks at him like, okay, he's just trying to save more lives. So I'm going to check out the rest of these episodes. It looks like it has a little bit of everything right off the jump. It's not your typical anime. It gets relatively serious real quick. So I'm thinking maybe they're going to get to the other side of Finland. Who knows? Bottom line is they need to get there because the snow and the cold is getting even worse every year. If they don't do something, they're going to die of either starvation or the temperature. So basically, they're going to set out to the real Finland. Vinland Saga on Netflix. Check it out.